Welcome to Tinfoil Alley. And it's another one of them transgender stories. These almost seem to be popping up daily. This one takes place in Vermont. Now, the story's from the New York Post, but they wrote the story kind of out of order of how the things actually happened. So I'm going to kind of rearrange it to how things actually happened. So there's a 14-year-old girl. She's on the volleyball team. Her father is a soccer coach at the same school. I guess she comes home to her dad and says, "Dad, we got a boy that thinks he's a girl on the volleyball team. And they have him in our locker room watching us change clothes." Of course, Dad does as the dad does and gets angry. So he made a social media post. It's a Facebook post addressed to the legal guardian of the trans female after the locker room incident. Coach Allen wrote in part, "The truth is your son watched my daughter and multiple other daughters change in the locker room. While he got a free show, they got violated. You think this is fine and dandy. I wonder how you would feel if I watched you undress." Makes a good point. And like I said before, it's always the woman that gets the shaft. These girls in this locker room, they're not given a choice. They're told they're supposed to show tolerance and respect his gender identity. Well, they got to see his gender identity when he took his pants off. I just don't see where there's an argument with that. Anyways, the daughter goes back to school and gets called into the office. She told the principal that she felt really uncomfortable and said she was later told to take part in a restorative justice circle, whatever in the hell that is, and pen an apology letter to her trans schoolmate or face disciplinary action. Well, bravo for this girl for having a spine. She said, I would rather have a 5-day suspension to have to apologize because I'm not sorry." According to Blake, she was forced to miss school for expressing her opinion that a male student shouldn't be in a woman's locker room. The school previously came under fire for banning the girls' volleyball team from its own locker room after several players, among them Blake Allen, complained about the trans student. Then comes the dad. The school figures out that he did this Facebook post, and he gets suspended from coaching the soccer team. And you ask what he got suspended for? Not for making the post. He got suspended because he called the boy a he in the post. He didn't use the right pronoun. Such conduct is unprofessional and unbecoming and flies in the face of the Vermont Principals Association's athletic regulations, Vermont state regulations, and the RUHS middle school, high school expectations, Millington wrote. The superintendent confirmed that Allen has been suspended without pay for misgendering the student. He added that the school officials have significant concerns about the coach's ability to support all of our students as the law requires. The father and daughter have since retained a lawyer from Alliance Defending Freedom, a Christian legal advocacy group committed to curtailing LGBTQ rights and protections. Attorney Tyson Langhofer said he has filed a lawsuit against the Vermont school alleging unconstitutional retaliation. Under Vermont's education policy, transgender students are allowed to participate in sports and use the restrooms or locker rooms that correspond with their gender identity. Folks, I hate to tell you this. This all started, now I'm 52 years old, but this all started way back when I was in probably middle school was the first fight. The left wanted to give away condoms in school. The right didn't want them to. The less argument was that the kids are going to do it anyway, so we might as well make it safe for them. And the right preached, no, we need to teach them abstinence. Also going on about this time, or just a couple years before, was the fight to have sex education in school. When I first started school, we didn't have sex education in school. And when we did get sex education in school, it was more or less the birds and the bees. Very basic. And They showed you a bunch of pictures of sexually transmitted diseases like genital warts and big herpes canker sores, and just to scare the hell out of you. But this is the time that AIDS first came out. A lot of people don't know it, but when AIDS first came out, it was actually called GAIDS with a G, because it wasn't just acquired immune deficiency disorder, it was gay acquired immune deficiency disorder, because homosexuals is all that had it. Of course, it spread through society as diseases do. And then we went through Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Then we went through gay marriage. Now we're on this transgender fight. The next fight we're going to have is pedophilia. The leftists are professionals of this. Old Rush Limbaugh used to talk about it. They are professionals at incrementalism. They get their pie one little crumb at a time. They've always done it that way. They do it on all kinds of different issues. And it's how we've gotten where we're at today. Just one little piece. They ain't got to get the whole thing. Just one little piece. And this is where the right messes up, because the right wants the whole thing. Give me all those tax cuts. I don't want none of them. They never learn that from the left. So it's crazy. You know, one thing I'm surprised never comes up, and I'm this one really blows my mind, because they're, you know, we're so often talking about all these sexual deals. Why doesn't anybody stand up and start screaming about polygamy? They want the right to have 8 wives or 8 husbands. You know what happens? I know a man right now that's got 2 wives. Not legally on paper, but by God, he has 2 wives. You never hear about that one. But mark my words, what they're doing right now is they're trying to take the innocence away from your children. And once they have the innocence away from your children, then they're going to try and normalize pedophilia. And people just sit back and keep taking it. I don't get it. But bravo for this girl for standing up for herself. And shame on the school for letting these girls be abused. But like I said, it's the females. The females are getting the bad end of the stick on all these little lefty issues. It's the female that's getting the shaft. And if you ask any Democratic voter, they're all about that. The left is the one that stands up for feminism. The left is one that stands up for women's rights. No. The left stands around and watches while women get abused. But if you would, like and subscribe. Go down in the comments. Tell me if there's something you want to hear about in particular. And y'all have a fine day.